So hi everyone and welcome. For those of you that know me, Happy New Year. For those of you that don't, my name's Chris Whetstone. I'm the Managing Director of Flambard Williams. Now, please like and subscribe these videos because of course we're going to give you all the updates and it goes straight to your inbox when they're delivered. So look, it's that time of year again, it's January 2025 and we're going to give you this year's predictions. Now, we're actually pretty spot on. 2024, we got them exactly right. 2023 as well, and of course COVID was our best ever prediction. When the whole market was saying that it's going to drop, we actually predicted a rise, not as much as 10% mind, but we did predict that rise. So what do we think the market's going to do? Well, actually, I think we're going to have a great year in the property market. I don't think we're going to see the 7, 8, 9, 10% growth, not by a long shot, but I still think we're going to have a solid 3 to 4%. And you know what? That's all we need. If you do 3 to 4%, even pushing 5% year on year, you're talking about a 50% gain over a 10-year period. And we know we're going to have those years which rise rapidly, the 5 to 10% plus. So why do I think we're going to have a solid year? Well, I think there's a lot of attributes for that. I think there's a lot of money in the market still. I think the overseas market is really strong for us. And what I mean by that is overseas clients investing in the UK. Why? Well, the reality is the pound's very weak at the moment, especially at this time of talking in Jan 2025. The pound's weak, so people are getting more bang for their buck. So we're seeing a lot of money coming from US dollars, and that's not just from America, that's from Nigeria because they're in US dollars, and the currencies that are pegged to the dollar. So the UAE, we've got a big, big following from the Middle East, and a lot of those clients are putting their money into pounds because you can probably see that the pound's strengthening over the next 5 to 10 years. So they're probably going to make sort of 15 to 20% just on the exchange rate alone, maybe a bit more as well. So I think the market's going to be strong for those reasons. Now, why do I think it's not going to hit 5, 6, 7%? Well, the reality is Labour put their budget through probably November time, I think it was October, November time. And if I'm honest with you, I think that's paid to those 7, 8, 9% gains in the property market. That's why I'm saying 3, 4, maybe even 5% this year. This market's a bit jittery at the moment. Bank of England are probably not going to drop rates dramatically anytime soon. And because of that, we're seeing the mortgage market pretty steady and buy-to-lets are coming in at 4.5 to 5%, maybe a little bit more for the overseas buyers. So what do I think? Well, I actually think by the time we get to the summer, we should start to see 0.25%, maybe even 0.5% drop in the Bank of England base rate. Now, I don't think that will fully be passed on to lenders, or lenders will fully pass that on to mortgage buyers, I should say. I think we might see 0.25% drop, and that should feed into clients' profits. But I do think that towards the end of the year, we should start to see bigger drops in the mortgage market. So that should mean for those clients who are buying off plan, planning maybe 12 months or 18 months down the line, I think you guys will see the most benefit. So I think 3 to 5% is comfortable in terms of where I would pretty much say that the UK should be aiming for. I think London is not going to do that. So if we start to take into individual cities, I think London is going to be pretty static, maybe even 0.5% fall, if I'm honest with you. But Manchester, Liverpool, Leeds, Sheffield, I think those areas should easily see 5, 6% gains and give an overall picture of 3 to 5% for the UK overall. So my advice is find that needle in a haystack. Make sure that you speak to a broker, someone professional who can guide you and navigate the path. And as I say, I'm sure there's great bargains out there. Now, there's lots more to this video. It's not just me, so I'm going to hand you over to Jack. Over to you.
Thanks, Chris. So there you have it, guys. That's our property price predictions for 2025. As you can see, much brighter outlook than today's UK weather. I now want to discuss with you rental prices. Where do we see the rental market heading in 2025? So 2024 brought a lot of changes. We had interest rates increasing, we had mortgage rates increasing, and that is going to play a big part of the rental predictions that we are putting out there for 2025. Now, why did 2024 have such a big impact? Well, 2024, with the increase in stamp duty, the increase in mortgage rates, it's made it much harder for first-time buyers to get onto the ladder. Now they're not going to be able to go and buy as easy. They're going to stay on and they're going to rent for longer. That is going to put more downward pressure on the rental market, therefore increasing the actual rental prices simply due to supply and demand. However, we are going to feel that differently in different regions across the UK. Now, we feel that overall in the UK, we're going to see rates increase anywhere between 4 to 5%. However, if we break that down into the likes of London, I feel it's going to be a lot more modest. I feel we're going to see 1 to 2% increases. Why? Simply because of affordability. Rental prices in London are already extremely high and there is a limit to what people can afford. However, if we go to areas in the northwest, in areas that we actually tend to recommend, in places like Liverpool, Manchester, Sheffield, Leeds, I feel we're going to see stronger increases. I feel we're going to see anywhere between 5 to 6%, simply because there is more affordability there. And again, the ever-growing population is putting more demand on property that there simply isn't enough supply of. So overall, we're going to see really strong rental yields and rental increases within the UK. As I said, anywhere between 4 to 5% for 2025. I'm now going to hand you over to Danny. He's going to talk you through mortgage rates and where we see that heading. So over to you, Danny.
Thanks, Jack, and hey guys. So mortgage rates been a big talking point this year. In 2024, we saw interest rates increase to a high of 5.25, which was a big difference compared to the 0.5% we've seen over the last decade. This inevitably increased mortgage rates for homeowners, which we all felt. However, it looks like we're now over the worst of it. We have inflation back under control, which, as we're speaking, currently stands around 2.5%, which is positive news, increasing the likelihood of the base rate to fall. As Chris mentioned earlier, we anticipate at least a couple of rate drops this year, meaning mortgage rates are set to fall. We foresee that by the end of the year, we hope buy-to-let rates in the late 3s and early 4s. This in turn is going to make your investment more lucrative, and if you have purchased off-plan, you can really benefit from the drops we feel will happen later this year. That's it from me. Up next, we've got Izzy going to talk you through the very best areas to be buying in 2025.
Thanks, Danny. So as you can see so far, guys, everything looks positive. So the final question is, where do we think are the best cities to be buying in 2025? So if you follow us regularly, we feel that the best cities are definitely within the northern part of England. Areas like Manchester, Liverpool, Sheffield, Leeds, Nottingham, just to name a few. There are billions being spent on these areas, which are transforming the cities, bringing new businesses to the cities, creating jobs, demand on property, which will only be set to continue for the foreseeable future. For those of you that are considering London, we feel that it wouldn't be the best place to invest. You could even see a modest decline in some parts due to the high prices that London brings. Overall, we are very strong believers that the Northwest in particular will be the best performing area in the UK, both on house price growth and the rental yields and demand. So there you have it, that is our predictions for Flambard Williams. We look forward to becoming right for the 3rd consecutive year in a row, and we look forward to speaking with you in 2025.